Hey everybody, this week is probably going to be a fairly short video, but I wanted to show you guys what I pack for a long weekend away. This is just for one horse, but I'm getting ready to leave for the Interstate Championship Games, so I'm going to show you guys what I take on the road with me. So I just kind of finished, not quite, still have a little bit left to do, converting my horse trailer. This was a bare dressing room with nothing there, and I put up some insulation, wall paneling, built some furniture. So these stay in here all the time. These are my Western shirts by Ranch Dressin'. They're performance fit. Oh my gosh, if you haven't tried them and you have to wear Western shirts, they're friggin' amazing. Like I don't know if you can tell, they're stretchy and they're super cool, and you don't have to iron them, which is great for me because I don't like to iron, and I will take my Western shirts to the dry cleaners before a big event, but I don't like to have to do that because that's time consuming and it's expensive. So I got some Ranch Dressin' shirts, and those just stay in here all the time because the only time I wear them is when I'm with the horses. I also keep my cowboy hat in here just because, I mean, I don't run with a cowboy hat, but you never know when you're going to need Western attire for pictures or something. And then I've also got some Brain Bridge, brain fuel. It's, sometimes I drink it before I make a run, depending on how I'm feeling, focus and confidence wise. So I just leave that up there because that's really the only time I use it. And then my bag with all my clothes in it fits right down here for the weekend, and it's got a place to stay protected. And then I've also got, I'm not finished yet, I have some touch-up stuff that I have to do, but down here in this, I have a 12-volt cooler that runs off of my batteries and solar power, and it's just a super cheap one. Well, not super, none of them are super cheap, but it's just an inexpensive one from Amazon that I bought during their Prime Day sale. And it's worked really well. I really enjoy it, and my batteries stay charged overnight even when I'm running the cooler, and I don't have to worry about buying ice, which is really nice. And under my little couch / storage bench, this is long enough actually that if I wanted to sleep down here, I could, if I had other people, or could have a guest sleep down here and I sleep up on the queen bed that's up in the nose. But I've got totes to fit all my food and utensils and stuff down here, and then in this tote back here I've got my leveling blocks and some camping stuff, extra fencing for the horses. I've got my battery powered speaker, which is super awesome, so I can jam out to some tunes, and my collapsible garbage can is here. And then back behind the speaker I've got a 5-gallon bucket that I haven't used yet, but plan to use in case I have any emergency gotta go potties in the middle of the night and I don't want to walk to a bathroom, because if you didn't notice, I do not have a bathroom in here because I didn't feel the need to have one. I don't mind going in the bucket with some bedding pellets in the bottom of it. So that's what we've got up here for me. So normally, for purposes of when I'm using the trailer, I don't access my first stall through the horse area because, well, that's why I got it with the escape door up there, so I can access it that way. But for ease of showing you guys everything, we're going to access my first stall that has the stud divider. We're going to access that through the horse area, and I'll show you about it one sec. Okay, so here is my first stall area. In here I have my muck tub that I use to clean stalls with my muck cart that one of my old clients was super kind and bought for me as a gift. Thank you, Corey and Romy. And then I also keep my spare tire back here because the mount that goes under the gooseneck got busted, so it hangs out in here until we get it fixed. I've got some folding camp chairs, and then I've got my fence posts that I use when I self-pin and set up my portable hot wire fences, and those work really well in that extra camping chair bag. That was a new discovery and I really like it. Underneath my muck tub is my step stool mounting block. It came with the horse trailer, and I can actually, usually I use it to get in and out of the escape door here because it's kind of a big step, and that fits perfectly right underneath the running board of the horse trailer. And then in this mint colored tote in the top drawer, I have all of my first aid stuff, which includes gauze and needles and syringes and Banamine and cleaning stuff, wound cleaning stuff, and vet wrap, and it's my first aid drawer. And then in the second two drawers, I have all of my back on track boots for my horses, which for 3 horses, I have 3 full sets of them, and they fit in that drawer nicely. And then I always bring my own water, which is what those two blue jugs are. Even if I have access to water at the place, I like to bring my own, because in the past I've had horses that don't drink water when I'm out somewhere. So I always like to bring some of my own. I also have a 35-gallon water tank in my rear tack, which I'll show you later, that I will fill if I'm gone for a long weekend, so I don't have to haul water. For interstate, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to bring those 2 water jugs so that if Stella decides not to drink the water there, I'll have something to get her started. Right, up here, I have my extra natural horsemanship training halter that I just keep in here. And then I have my go-to-town halters that are made by Diamond Bar E mule tape halters. And these stay in here because then they're not out in the elements and they stay nicer. So I'll grab these and put this one on Stella when I go to catch her to leave. And then I've got my boot bag that has all my polo wraps in it. For the most part, if it's just a normal weekend race, I just run in sport boots. But if it's going to be something fancy and I have to wear Western attire, I'll bust out the polo wraps so I can be nice and matchy-matchy. So that's what is in here. I keep my broom. And then on this other part of the shelf, somewhere down there, I keep my fence charger, and it actually works really well. It slides in the hole from the shelving that I have. All right, last part, I think, for this area, I have my brushes that I bring. I've got my Soar No More that stays in my brush bag, and then my CEP Showstopper, Detangler, and Shine Spray. And then in this little bucket here, let me see if I can get you to it. This little bucket here, I've got my my PreRun Prep stuff. So I have my electrical tape for when I tape my polos. I've got a roll of duct tape for when I tape their feet before I make a run. I'll show you that in a different video, how I specifically Blitzen, because she likes to pull shoes, but I keep a roll of duct tape in there. I keep my alcohol wipes that I use to wipe their nose before I apply their flare strips. Usually I keep my spray adhesive that I use when I reuse my flare strips. I'll spray it on there and re-stick them because I'm cheap and I like to get my money's worth. That's not in there though. I need to find that before I leave. And then I also have my pre-run gear down paste that I give to Stella before every run in this bucket. So this blue bucket right inside the door, easy access, is kind of all my pre-run prep stuff. And then down here, oh look, there's my charger. I keep my treats. And then I also keep this tub of Magic Cushion. So if I'm gonna be somewhere stalling on hard ground for a weekend, I'll usually pack their feet, at least their front feet, with the Magic Cushion when I put them in their stalls after I make a run. So this weekend at Interstate, since it's at Rimrock Riders Event Center over in Pal Butte, and their stalls are rubber mats on concrete, I'll probably be using that for Stella so her feet don't get sore. So I keep a water bucket down here that I use for water when I'm hauling for day trips. It has a lot less stuff in it when I'm hauling for day trips. But when I'm hauling for long weekends, I bring one of their big water buckets that's like the muck tub that I had back there. And I'll use that when I'm hauling and I'm staying for a weekend, so I don't have to fill small buckets as often. So while I'm traveling, the bucket stores all of my, right now it has her grain that I've got bagged up for the weekend. I like to prepare the horse's grain before I leave, so then when I'm there, all I have to do is dump it in their feed tub. I've got in here my gut check that I give her while we're traveling and on the road. I've got my sound hoof conditioner that I use for Stella because her feet are super hard and dry. So I try to put this hoof conditioner on try to put it on 3 times a week. And then in here I also have, I'm just finishing up week 1 of the Succeed 60-day gut health challenge. So I've got a bunch of tubes of that for this weekend. And then I've also got my CEP Cool It gel liniment, which is amazing and I love it. And sometimes you don't know if stuff works, but when I put it on the horses and then 45 minutes later, like where I left it on my hands is actually still cold, I know it's working. I think that's all I've got in there. And I've got a bag of Epsom salts here. Sometimes I will give them like a sponge bath with Epsom salt soak after they have a hard workout. So those stay in the trailer too. I forgot to tell you guys, also another thing that I keep in my grooming bag or somewhere in the horse trailer are my AccuLife drug-free pain relief patches. I like to patch my horses. I am a dealer and I don't use them as often as I should because they are amazing, but I will patch Stella for a big weekend. I'll patch her for anxiety and lung support. And I can also use those for pain relief. So if she's got any sore spots, I will make sure to patch her there. And since it's a bigger show and I'll have access to power in the barn, I'm also going to bring my EquiSports massager and I'll throw that in the trailer before I leave. That way I can work on Stella a little bit this weekend. So for the horse area, this guy is a new addition. It's a $20 battery operated fan that I got on Amazon, and it doesn't move the air super great, but I mean, you can kind of see the, maybe not. Anyways, it gives them a little bit more of a breeze when I'm hauling when it's hot out. Also, don't haul anywhere. I never haul anywhere without my Haychex nets because they keep it off the ground and my horses love them. Quick side note about these fans. Blitzen is a pain in the rear when we're hauling home from places and likes to head bob whenever we stop at a stoplight. And usually when I pull her out of the trailer, she's super sweaty, like on her neck and shoulders. Well, the last time I hauled her, I had that fan turned on, so it was pointing at her body like it is now. And when I pulled her out of the trailer, she was dry. So it might not move a lot of air, but it makes a difference. And since I haven't been hauling with a full trailer, I moved their blankets up to the front of this stall so they were out of the way of the doorway. Other times I put it and hang it back here, so because there's a lot of room back on the butt area in this third stall. So since I'm going to be hauling a friend's horse before I leave, I will move that back to here so it's more out of the way in the head area so that horse has more room. My horses, I know they don't mind it, and so when I haul Blitzen, or I'll haul all 3 of mine, Blitzen usually goes in the back and she doesn't mind that, so I leave them there. So because I'm hauling all the time in the summer and springtime, basically anytime after May, I saddle out of my trailer at home. So out here, I tried to keep it to a little bit more than that at the moment, but I try to keep it to a working bridle and a competition bridle for each horse. So I have a couple extras in here because one of my clients hauled with me and or hauled her stuff with me, so that's why that's there. And I'm in the middle of a bit swap with Blitzen, so I've got a few extras. But like I said, for ease of access and to keep this kind of clean, I like to keep a working bridle and a running bridle for each horse on the door. I also have my crop here that I sometimes run with, and if I put it here, if I forget it, I can still reach it while I'm on my horse. So if I'm already banded in, I don't have to worry about unbanding and getting off to get to it if it was in the back of the rear tail. So one of my favorite modifications to this trailer is the swing out tack or swing out saddle rack that I had made. It is not perfect, but I like it much better than I did when the tack or the saddle rack was in the back of the tack room, and I feel like I have a lot more accessible space. I did have to move my wall out a little bit so I had room to fit to open and close the swing out, but it works just fine. So there you can see my swing out saddle rack when it's out, and you can see all the room that I have in there, and there's my 35-gallon water tank that I fill if I'm going for a long weekend. I've also got Velcro, adhesive Velcro. It's the hook side on my wall, my tack room wall, so that I can store boots out of the way. I can store lots of boots. And my shin guards also stick up there. And then on this bridle rack that I have in here is where I have any extra bridles and my helmets so that they stay out of the way of the door. That is all I have for you guys today for the tour of my trailer / a walkthrough of what all I pack when I'm going on the road. If you have any questions about the stuff that I use, the stuff that I pack, why I pack it, or want to see something else, let me know in the comments, and I will try to let you know, maybe do another video to go into some more details on some of the stuff. Don't forget to like and subscribe and ding that notification bell so you'll be notified when I post a new video. And tune in next week for a recap of the Interstate Games. Love you guys, and remember to strive for progress, not perfection. See you next week.